Hello, my lovely. You didn't get to where you are in your business by doing shit the way that everybody else does. And you know that what got you to where you are now is not going to get you to where you want to be. And if you are listening to this podcast, it's because you want to be the go-to for what you do better than anyone else. Your brilliance is the niche. Being you, that bold, unfuckwithable presence that you've secretly been craving to set free, she is in there. And that means you will have to burn some old bridges down. And attracting your people will also repel those who are not for you. Fucking hooray. Becoming a force of nature business and brand means no more Miss People Pleaser, no more hiding your turbo brain, no more dimming down jack shit. And if you have ever been told to tone it down as a woman with ADHD, it's time to tone your shit all the way the fuck back up. That is how you create unstoppable momentum in your business and visibility that is something you've been avoiding, but that you truly want. This podcast is about stepping into your upgrade, watering down anything, never change the fucking world. You were not born to be forgettable. And as one of my all-time favorite quotes says, well-behaved women rarely make history, and nothing about you or me is well-behaved, at least not anymore. Hello there, and welcome to my villain with a heart era. You're going to start to notice that there will be a little less polish and a little more unfiltered real talk. And you're like, Carrie, you're already pretty unfiltered. Yes, in some ways, but not as much in this way. And I'm excited because I've continued to shed layers that did not belong to me. And it feels like I literally just shed one over the last few fucking days. So we're going to talk about the last few days, the epiphanies that I had. And since I always want to share struggles in real time, not just wins and highlights and blah, 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 but like what it looks like underneath, behind the scenes, and in the feelings in real time. And I'm going to share with you very fucking candidly in a way that makes me feel uncomfortable, and I don't care. Because I would rather feel uncomfortable and have you hear exactly what you needed to hear rather than me staying in, me being uncomfortable and not being raw, because I feel like it's not being done enough right now, and I'm sick and tired of seeing it. I shared this directly with my own clients, and so you're next on the docket. It is nothing bad. It is, in fact, very, very good, actually. And one more thing, I am so glad you are here. Welcome to my girl gang, the Feral Women's Club. Welcome back to the ADHD Entrepreneur, the podcast for feral ADHD women in business who refuse to play by the fucking rules because there aren't any. We're just making them all up as we go along. And that is part of the story that you are going to hear today, how that is really true. We are not here to play by anybody else's rules. Anyway, my name is Carrie. I'm your host. I'm the chief weirdo of Carrie Out Loud. If you're new here, hey. If you aren't new here, hey. My mission is to help 10,000 female founders scale their businesses past 100,000 a year through ruthless simplification. It's good. It's good. I promise you. You know, it's time to stop the fucking brain chaos and find the clear growth path that your brain says a full body fuck yes to. And that means if that's what you are looking for, you're in the right place. If this episode has an impact on you, pretty please with a cherry on top, do all the good things. Leave that 5-star rating. Review this episode. Tell me why it struck a chord, what you liked about it, and subscribe. That way you will be notified of the new episode every Wednesday, and you don't have to try and remember it yourself. I understand your ADHD professionally, but also personally. And everything I share here is filtered through 25 years of business experience, some of it with undiagnosed ADHD, some of it with diagnosed ADHD, all filtered through having this brain. And I don't do this work to be put on a pedestal or to be adored. I am on a mission to help you get the fuck out of your own way and grow. Full stop. Because we can fucking build the plane while we're flying it. But there gets to be a point where you have to get more intentional and you have to get more strategic. And so the reason I do this work is so that you can look at someone with a brain like yours and a big ass foul mouth who's neurodivergent too, just like you, and has a brain full of the same magical chaos as yours does, and say, well, if she can do it, so can I. And then you grow your shit like wildfire. Okay. Okay. That's really why we're here. Now, let's get into the last few days. Let's talk about it. So, I'm coming to this episode just out of feeling the last few days overwhelmingly low for what felt like no reason. There was a reason, but it felt like no reason. And I couldn't figure out what was going on. I was hanging out with Oliver in my bed and, of course, focusing on my clients who are with me now. Never, ever, ever do I let go of my clients when I am in a place that I am not feeling my full ass self. But I will also make sure that I am answering them with a little bit less quickly, because my own brain is not necessarily functioning as well as it should be. So I might take a little bit extra time to get back to them, but they're still getting the support they need, right? But the other piece I did was started writing, not content, not copy, just writing to see what came out, because I couldn't figure out why I was feeling so off. So I'm going to bring the lessons here to the table too, because I feel like having the feelings of stuck or frustration or whatever, those last like a minute now. When I say a minute, it's like a day or two, right? But that's all it ever is, a minute. And that is part of having such conviction in what I do and in my business and the work I do, that I get over shit fast. And then I take action to figure out, what do I do to help myself get to the other side of this and get to the other side, and not rush it, but get there quickly, because I don't have to process things for weeks or months on end anymore. Do you? If you do, it's okay. But learning how to navigate these things is part of owning a business. And so me asking you those questions is part of the reason why you listen to the podcast. It's why you come back week after week. That's why you're here. And also, you know that I am human enough to say, yep, business growth is not all rainbows and unicorns and fairies and sunshine and lollipops and 50K months like you see everything flying around, and say it publicly. And also say, it's all fucking worth it, because there truly is no freedom like when you start to hit your stride. And more importantly, you need a reminder that perceived failures are just your sword being sharpened as part of the process of owning and growing the company that you are here to build. That is part of the beauty of it. So I was feeling all of these kind of ways. And so I sat with me, I wrote a bit, and I reached out to my own coach to talk. I don't lean super heavy all day, every day into my coach, but I know when I really need her and I really need to talk about something very specific that's bothering me, that is the place that I can go where I will get the unfiltered, raw truth that maybe I can't even see for myself. And I didn't even know what I wanted to discuss. I just knew I needed to get whatever was going on out of my body and out of my brain so that I could see what the fuck was happening and address it. And it came out very clear when I put it into words to her, which started more earlier in the week, but a couple of days went by and I really saw what was going on here. And so it was nice to come back and finally be able to say to her in our conversation that this is what I finally realized I was seeing. And here's what I wrote. I took the last few days to reflect on my business road and my marketing and what I saw clearly is this. I haven't stopped to really dive into my own business road and what it has taught me so that I can teach and do what I'm doing with even more confidence and conviction in the way that I help the people that I help. The disconnect for me for the last few days and why I've been feeling weird about creating content and selling is that I feel like I haven't had the level of transparency that I always want to have with my clients. And I also feel like sometimes the best kept secret on the internet right now, even though I know that's not true. I'm going to have to take a deeper look kind of at my own story and my road to get here. I don't lie to people to get them to work with me like I've seen other people do. I don't show fake numbers to boost my visibility. I don't buy followers. I haven't done any of those things. And we both know that there are people who do this and it makes me want to hurl and it pisses me off. I'm writing, this is what I wrote to my coach. So you're hearing what I was saying exactly to her. I said, now I see clearly why selling in my messaging has felt off. And I finally hit the nail on the head. This came out and I was like, my dude, whoa. And I also realized that I wasn't doing the only part of my business that actually matters day in and day out. And it is the shit that I love that I was setting aside to simplify certain things more or set certain things up that don't need to happen right now. That is connecting and talking to women, because I was so up in my head with all the technical shit in the back end and the parts of my business that I felt disconnected to talking to you, disconnected in my content, disconnected in my stories, disconnected. I just felt awkward, and not in the normal ADHD, I'm a weirdo way, but way beyond that. Look, here's something I want you to understand about me. And if you talk to my assistant, Brooke, who, funny enough, we never had planned to work together. If you talk to her, she will tell you, I don't have a fucking agenda. Do I want to build my business? Yes. Do I want to grow it? Yes. Do I want to talk to women who want to work with me and figure out if we're a fit? Yes. But I never have an agenda when I talk to someone or assume what they are going to be to me or what they will become. I connect for the sake of connecting. Some women I've met, they've become incredible friends. Some have referred me. Some have hired me. Some went onto a service provider list because I don't do it all. And I am a super connector. And I want to have other neurodivergent women working together if they seem like they would be a fit together. And I have matched several people in different, business, different services, right? Like web design or let's see what we've done. Web design, we've done VA and OBM services. Like I have referred people and they have connected and it has worked beautifully. And I don't just send anybody to anybody because I care about each individual person and if they'll be a good fit too. And so that's really fun. For me, that's my jam. For me, that's something I've always leaned into. When somebody has a connection call, a clarity call with me, it is very rare that they don't hire me. And I don't mean on the spot in the moment. I mean, hire me, whether it's a month from now, 3 months from now, whatever. My jam is the connecting and the talking to human beings. And I had been, once again, putting the cart before the horse without looking at the cart and the horse and stop looking at anybody else's cart and horse and go inside. Nobody else's story matters in how I show up to my business. Mine does. And I haven't revisited my own story in so long. That was why I was feeling disconnected. I was just go, 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 go mode without taking a moment and going, how did I get where I'm here? How do I help my clients the best? What really can I own right now at this point I am in my business? that feels totally lined up with me as a human being. And after that full discussion with my own coach and a couple of days of just kind of sitting with whatever was going on, I realized that I do two things as a growth coach really fucking well. I love the logistical side of business growth because my brain sees the overcomplication in your business, the dots that are not connected, and then I can help you connect all of it. Very high direction in that way with logistics, messaging, the parts and pieces that make our business all work, but doing it all in a way that it is all so married together that it flows and you get to do what you love. You're a genius, right? And let's be clear, if you are in the more beginning parts of your business, you are going to be doing different things than somebody who's been in business for a few years. So if you right now are not at 5 or 10 or 15 or 20K months, and you're looking at somebody who is 100K months and what they're doing and what their marketing is and trying to emulate them, guess what happens? You're looking at their now, not what it took them to get there. You're looking at something that may be way more in depth or overcomplicated than where you are. Stop it. Stop it. The other thing is I lean into my life coaching certification, and I realize how rarely I talk about it. But what I lean into in that direction is, do you want logistics and like strategy, or do you want coaching, as in mindset, as in the things that you can't figure out, the roadblocks, those solutions? And so what I do is I ask really fucking good questions. And that brings my clients back to me with their own mindset shifts and their own roadblock solutions. And I shit you not, that is so much more effective than anybody telling you how to feel, what your mindset should be, asking questions, reflecting back what they are hearing you say so you can hear it from somebody else's mouth into your ears because you're just thinking it all the time. But if you say something out loud and then I repeat it back to you and you go, oh, I do not like that, how that sounded, when I literally repeated you verbatim, that is eye-opening to a lot of my clients. And what I did not realize, because I did not stop long enough to take the time to realize, is that what I have been marrying together since I received my life coaching cert and my ADHD diagnosis is this style of coaching. There is the logistic piece to it, and there's the life coach piece to it. And I will take off one hat and put on the other one. I do not mix them together because logistics and strategy are that. Mindset and the roadblocks, that's life coaching to the nth. And so not talking about it, like I finally was like, what the fuck, Carrie? Like this is part of what's missing for you. And what's really ironic here is that I went through the 3-month life coaching training just after I received my ADHD diagnosis. And the coaching I did with the cohort of women who were learning with me helped me through the first few months. Why? Because somebody was listening to me without judgment and just asking questions to where I get to the solutions that work for me. They helped me through those first few months. I don't think I've ever said that out loud to anyone except my family and maybe a couple of my friends, maybe one or two. But what I see best is the overcomplication in your business and your mindset blocks, and how to walk you through ruthless simplification and the mindset and the roadblocks that you come up against as somebody who has a brain that runs on Apple iOS, not Android. And so when I help my people ruthlessly simplify and walk them through the mindset blocks, blammo, that's when I start to see my clients go off in a direction that gains them traction, starts gaining them a reputation, starts getting them referrals and seen by more and more people. And I don't necessarily mean growing like a bajillion followers. You can have a very successful business with like 150 very highly engaged human beings in your world because they will refer you, they will talk about you in rooms where you are not, and they will be what I jokingly have called your Swifties, right? And so sitting back to really go, okay, when I boil it down to the bone, what is it that I do? And now that I see it so clearly, I understand why certain parts of my messaging has felt off and why selling has felt really fucking weird the last couple weeks without really truly knowing what was going on. And so that, my friends, is why I felt so off the last few days. It all came to a head, and I saw that I forgot my own story. I forgot to take a look at my own strengths. I was not connecting in the way that I love to because my head has felt like it was so far up my ass that I couldn't see straight. I wasn't doing what I know to do when I feel like I have been feeling a full few, like for the last little bit. Pull back just a little to slingshot forward because that's really what a slingshot is, right? You pull back just a little and that tension is created. It doesn't feel great, it doesn't feel comfortable, and then you slingshot forward. That will happen to us repeatedly as business owners, period. I don't care what stage you're in your business. This will happen repeatedly. It's learning to understand what those moments look like when you need to do that slight discomfort, that uncomfortable pullback, so that you can then slingshot forward. When is the last time you took a look at your story? Real quick. When I recorded this episode originally, for some reason, it started to glitch right about here. So if you're watching on YouTube, I'm currently magically wearing different clothes. If you're not, it's me coming back in where it started to get choppy because I wanted to make sure I give the rest of this full story to you. And so what I was asking was, when was the last time you looked at your story, not your business? This is the part of the program where you work on your business, not just in it. Because if you are so stuck right now in only working in your business and not having times where you step out from the middle of it and look at it as a whole big picture. Some people call it high level. That can sound confusing to a lot of people. So I'm going to use big picture. Sometimes you have to pull back and look at that big picture. And you want to look at where you started. You want to look at the little stops along the way. You want to look at the things that clients tell you that you do best for them. And you want to love what you fucking get paid to do and making sure that you're refining your offers. And I don't mean changing it into, making it into something completely different. I mean, taking the feedback and information you get from your clients and refining what you already have and giving the people who have already hired you the best of your magic while you are talking with other people, right? To be hired by them. But at the end of the day, making sure you're focusing on your people who have already hired you and that they're getting the best experience. And think about, what are you saying to attract the people that you're there for? Meaning, take a moment and think to yourself, is what I'm sharing and teaching of me? Or is it parts and pieces of other people married together? Now, I'm not saying, is it information you've learned from other people? Because we get coaching, we grow, we learn new things. Part of the reason why we hire coaches, business mentors, etc., is because we don't fucking know what we don't know. And we want to get sometimes with people who do know what we don't know so that we can learn there. And that's how we get places forward. That's how we get forward. So is it okay that you have like parts and pieces of what you've learned in your style of how you do as a service provider, as a coach, whatever? Or another thing is, are your systems taped together behind the scenes and they don't feel like you because you've done this download and this template and you've gotten all of these different places because you've been building the plane while you're flying it? And that works up to a point. And then there's a point you have to get in the fucking seat. You have to get in the pilot seat. You have to get a little bit more strategic, a little bit more intentional. And if you have systems or you have offers or things that do not make sense to your brain, you're just going to feel like you're butting your head up against a fucking wall, not being able to go anywhere and not understand why. Why is it like this? So take a look at your business road. Have you grown your skill set? Are you not bringing certain things into your marketing or how you sell? Are you not saying those things? Like the whole life coaching thing. I'm twice certified. Okay. I did one certification. It was a weekend. I was like, oh, this is great. And then I was like, I don't feel like I'm proficient enough because that's just me. And it isn't overachieving. That is wanting to be good at my craft, having the work that I do be the work that I do, be amazing. Right. So since I didn't get enough, I went back to the 3-month, right? And that's part of where I started getting even better at my work. I'm always working on being a better listener. Look, we're neurodivergent. I have ADHD, probably a little touch of the autism too, and I've never really said that either, but I know just based on certain things that I've personally seen that definitely may be a factor because I definitely have that fight in my brain against itself. And that oftentimes is partially due to autism. I have definitely had these meltdowns that were not panic attacks, but this is definitely something that I've gotten to know is probably a factor. And so our love language is interruption. It's talking over each other. But as a coach and a mentor, right? As a business logistics and business growth coach, as somebody who works as a strategist and helping you grow your business, my work is really finding more power in my own pause before I answer because my answers have become better. My questions have become better. It's just something we learn over time. Don't think that because you have ADHD or you interrupt people or you're like that you can't do what you do best. That you can't coach, you can't mentor, you can't help people with the services you provide in any capacity. Don't think you can't do that. You can. It's just something that you learn to be better at over time. And that's where the coaching for me comes into is because it is a lot of active listening and it is a lot of reflection, right? Now, when I feel like, okay, I feel really uncomfortable with what's happening right now, allowing myself to have that little pullback and take that big picture view, that's important. The facts, the data, what's going on right now. But what I remind my people is this proof of opposite. Proof of opposite is a list or a document or something where you add your accomplishments in. So when your brain starts lying to you and telling you a bunch of bullshit that isn't true, you can bust it out and remind your brain of all the things that you have done and accomplished, not other people's accomplishments, not looking around at other people for validation, looking at your own self for the validation that you need. And I'll tell you, my brain was telling me, you ready? What my brain was telling me the last few days, you suck as a coach. You don't know what you're doing. I don't know why people are hiring you. This is all bullshit. It's just a bunch of lies. It's not even true. It's not based in fact, but it's really uncomfortable. I hate it. Right. So I'm like, listen, sit down, shut the fuck up. We're going to figure out what's going on so we can get to the other side to help me not make myself, but help me figure out what the disconnect is and how to make that right for myself because I don't need to be fixed. I don't need to be repaired, but I do need to understand so that I can take action because there's hope in movement. One of my friends, Christina, used to say this all the time. Movement is hope. And it's true. When you feel stuck, what do? We go, we isolate, we try to hide. We don't want to, but there is still hope in movement. And that can mean movement in your brain. That can mean get the fuck outside and move around. But movement is hope, right? Okay. So have you done that lately? Have you looked at the big picture of what you love to do, how you've grown? Have you added that and folded that into your business now? Because I really see that part of what I wasn't doing was folding in the experience that I have now that I should be talking about more confidently. Oops, I just should all over myself. That I would like to be talking about more confidently. Have you done that? Have you maybe this is your sign to take a look at the bigger picture. And not everything that happens to me or my business is like, okay, you have to do it to yours, right? But if you're in a place where you are not able to figure out something that's going on, why not try something fucking different? You know the definition of insanity: doing the same shit over and over and over again, thinking you're going to get a different outcome. That is bullshit. That is how you stay stuck as fuck. So what I did was I allowed myself over the last few days to really examine what was happening and basically staying behind the scenes, right? It's okay to not show up perfectly, by the way, in your stories or your content or whatever while you're going through these moments. But these are the moments that will slingshot you forward time and time again if you stop and take the pause and listen. And don't live there for weeks or months on end. That's the biggest change for me personally. I used to live in places like this for weeks or months on end. Now it's a couple days and I figure it out. This is also why you have a coach or a mentor, especially someone who understands your neurodivergence, because like brains help like brains find solutions, and that's the magic. So to end this episode, just for funsies, I'm going to put what I put in my stories after I talked to my coach, after I kind of got through the other side, so that this clarifies what I do now, who I do it for. Ooh, puberty. Leave that in. Leave that in, Brooke. Puberty. Because we don't do perfect around here, right? We do business puberty too. One of my clients said that one time, and she just cracks me up. Hi, Beth. She's listening right now, I'm sure. But yeah, business puberty is something we go through repeatedly. It happens at a bunch of different times, growing pains, right? So I'm going to end this episode by sharing this so that it's very clear. And at the end of the day, it's always been you. And when I say you listening, if you have neurodivergence of some sort, whether you have a diagnosis or not, I don't care personally. I'm not going to be like, hey, to work with me, you need to give me a diagnosis from your doctor. No. When we know, right? We know when we're attracted to certain people for a reason. But it is way more clear to me now that what I am best helping you with and how it all marries together, why this makes us a solid fit to work together with women like you or your business sister who's looking for somebody who may need to understand how their brain works better. They may need that in their business. Okay, ready? I do this work because there needs to be more discussion with ADHD humans about the bullshit tricks your meatloaf brain is trying to tell you that are full of bullshit narratives and societal sludge that you have heard over and over and over and over again. And you've heard so much of these terms externally that you have internalized these things like they're fucking gospel when they're not. For example, you suck. Let's just be straightforward. You suck. You don't try hard enough. You're lazy. You aren't where you should be, whatever the fuck that means. You aren't making a bigger impact. The bigger impact you could be making, you should be making. So clearly, you're a loser. Why do you even do this work? Nobody cares. Nobody gives a shit about your pain and how you alchemize it and how you've turned it into the greater. Listen, it's all garbage. Let's call bullshit together. Okay? Let's just call BS. I do this work not because I've had 25 years of business experience, not because I fumbled my way through how to navigate doing everything online or on Instagram for the last 7 years. And that wasn't all doing. Some of that 7 years for sure was figuring a lot out. It's because of my brain and my loud ass drive that won't allow me to give up. This is my bigger mission, the bigger thing that I was made for. This is what has become crystal clear all along, leading women like us to do whatever the fuck we put our minds to without burning out from doing shit the normie way. Until I arrived at my ADHD diagnosis, the failures were fucking a requirement. For me to be the kind of coach I am now, that is all required learning, required reading. I'm no longer ashamed of that. That's the lighthouse that brings people to me to work together. But not only that, they stay because they grow with me for real, not just well, I think I can help you. No, like, I know I can help you. If I tell you I know I can help you, I can help you. If I don't feel like I can, I'm going to send you to somebody I believe can. So that's a good thing when you talk to me. But last but not least, I hear the same thing from my clients over and over again. You just get me. You just understand me. I didn't know that somebody who understood the way my brain works was what I needed. Oh my gosh, I've heard that phrase out of every single client, I think, except maybe one or two. And that was earlier in. Because I am you. I am like you. Yes, I just get you. That's why my coaching is powerful. Like the way your brain works. I understand that. And I will call bullshit on you anyway. You won't get a coach that makes you comfortable or babies you because we're grown ass women. That ain't it for me. There might have been a time where I was fine with that or it felt good to me, but I'm not talking recently. This is a lot further in my past, and that ain't it. What you will get with me is a coach with heart who challenges you so you can actually grow your fucking business the way you want to because you can. You won't get hollow cheerleading or finger crossed energy because that isn't what's going to work for your business growth. Rah, rah, sis, boom, bah. We'll celebrate, of course, because Lord knows we don't celebrate enough, but that is not what you need to get where you want to go. You know what it is? You need to be ready to be fucking relentless in your mission and go through the process of ruthless simplification in your business. When you are ready to grow, in a way that is sustainable, and you want to make fuck you money over the long haul, that's when you hire me. Don't hire me a day before. And I know I said all of that in my stories in some way, and some of it I added for you here, but I meant it. If you are ready to be held to like a higher standard, you want to combine your business growth strategy in a way that you want to have a business strategy that's personalized to you in a way your ADHD ass brain won't reject or your neurodivergent brain won't reject because man, we are bullheaded. We don't always mean to be, but shit, we are. This is where you get to have more of a life that you love. That's what happens when you hire me. That's what happens when you hire me. So now you know. Because if you've been listening for a while, you've probably heard many iterations of what I've done, but this is where we are now. And this is the best part because it will continue to evolve. I will continue to evolve. My clients will continue to evolve. But by evolve, I mean make businesses that work for their brain so that you can actually go where you want to go. Because we will overcomplicate simplification. Every time I say that phrase, it gets a giggle because we do that. We will overcomplicate even simplification. Ask me how I fucking know. I know I've been doing it. I've done it. So with that, I'm going to finish up this episode. If you dig what we're doing here, if you dig the mission and you are wanting to stick around, either find out more about myself, about the sisterhood, about what I do with my clients, there's one of two ways. You can keep up with the latest and greatest by getting my newsletter. It's called The Frequency, and it's exclusively for ADHD women in business, especially if you're late diagnosed or self-identified, neurodivergent in any way. The link is in the show notes. If you want to chat about your mindset and your business growth and what it would look like to work together, book your free clarity call with me by sliding in my DMs on Instagram at Carry Out Loud or go to the link in my show notes so that we can jump on a call together. It's 30 minutes. It's not a coaching call. I get to know you, your business growth goals, your desires, and we see if it's a match to work together. Fucking hooray. And if it is, great. And if not, I understand. I'm not the kind of person who sits on anyone's head. I want to tell you if I can help you or not. We're grown-ups and you make your own decision. So that is it for today. Until next week, I see you. I love you and I'm rooting for you always. Stay feral, bitches. Bye. Oh, hey, you're still here. Thank you for listening all the way to the end. Be sure to check out the show notes for all the ways to follow me. And of course, my goal is to find and help as many women with ADHD get away from the 9-to-5 grind, because it's just not designed for our neurospicy brilliance, and there are other ways to do life. So by subscribing, sharing, and giving a 5-star review, it helps other women find this podcast as well. And if there's an episode you really love, please feel free to take a screenshot and share it on your social and tag me in it so that I can thank you personally. Until next time, you spicy brained unicorn. Bye.